Hey everybody, what's up? This Finance with 50. It's a little segment I like to call Finance Info with 50. We just here to give some financial knowledge and things throughout the financial markets that whether you're going to take it as knowledge however you want or you're not going to take it, that's good for you. It's good for me. It doesn't matter. For my financial guys out there, it's just a refresher course of the things you may already know. Just a recap on things like, oh my God, I forgot the terminology for that. And that's all that we really do here. Today, we're going to work on the SEC, which stands for Security Exchange Commission. These people are pretty much in charge of everything that's happening within the securities markets, especially in the United States and when it's abroad. Just to give you the definition of what the Securities Exchange Commission is, or the SEC, the SEC holds primary responsibility for enforcing the federal securities laws, proposing securities rules, and regulating the securities industry, which is the nation's stock and options exchange, and other activities and organizations, including the electronic securities markets in the United States. The SEC was created by Section 4 of the Security Exchange Act of 1934. The SEC has a three-part mission: to protect investors, maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitate capital formation. So that's their three functions right there. I'm going to say that one again. Maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets, to protect investor, and facilitate capital formation. So let's start with the first one that I said second the second time, which is to protect the investor. It's hard as hell to be an investor right now because, for one, we're inside of a market that is very much comprised of companies becoming duopolies and triopolies and dictating what's really happening in the world. So the reality is that if you don't have the inside scoop of what's going on with these companies and what their ideas are going to be and where they plan on going for the next future, it's going to be very hard for you to know. Not impossible, but very hard for you to know where to gauge yourself as an investor. So, as you'll hear me say many times, investing is just like the sports gambling world. You can gamble on who's going to win the Super Bowl. You can gamble on who's going to have the most rebounds this quarter. There's many things that you could use your currency to put on in order to receive a return. So, for instance, I'm not a 10-year bond kind of guy. That's just not what I do. I'm a day trading kind of dude. I'm moving contracts. I'm looking at ticks by the second, and that's essentially what I like to do. I also like to look at companies over time. So I'm a very investing kind of guy. I'm a 6 to 12 month I'm a 4-quarter kind of guy. I'm a 7-quarter kind of guy. I'll look at it over years as well too. So based upon the kind of investor that I am, that can maximize or minimize the expenditure or the returns that I bring back for that. Understanding that the Security Exchange Act of 1934 protects investors in the fact that our course of action may not be the best course, but it may be the one that's needed, and we need to be protected on that. So we need, by us doing everything in the right manner, putting the right QSET number in and putting the order in the right way, that allows us to even be protected even when there is a potential loss. I'm not saying that investors don't lose out when we take losses, but it allows us to build trust and amnesty within the markets. So the first section of that is vitally important. And the investor being protected, if we're not protected, I'll be honest, as an investor, I still don't feel protected with the laws that's in place. And I consider myself an investor because I plan on moving people's money one day. I don't feel protected as an investor in the situation the way the world is because everything is so political. And if you tend to sway with one side that may work for your style of investing, and then when the next shift comes in, regardless of what side it's on, in any country that you may be investing in, it's not just for my country in America, it's for around the world because there's many SECs around the world with different names and different formats and whatever they're called. Knowing that, I might come into a 3-year gains where I might go into a 4-year slump because of a political change in the area, in the state, in the federal laws. So it's very important that you keep in mind that an investor although we are looked at as glorified car salesmen that probably make more and just coke sniffing scumbags, really a lot more than that. And these are the guys that really mandate how important your position is out there in the world. You work for Allied Securities and you don't have investors that's investing in the company that's involved with Allied Securities, you might not get hired because now they don't have expenditure to be able to give you the things that Allied Security is able to provide. And it's just those things like that that very much mean something. So the second thing here was maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets. That's very hard to maintain. COVID changed the market. There was a halt in the market in the 2000s. They didn't even think, they knew it was going to happen again, but they thought they'd be able to gauge it when it happened, and they did. Maintaining fair and orderly markets, it really is some bullshit for real, because the reality is that our market is not Argentina's market. Our market is not, it's us, China, and pieces of European markets collaborated, and it's kind of the Middle East, Ecuador, and all those areas, and also South America. There's other market, the American market. South America is a very much moving part of the American market. It's way more intricate than that, and countries with militaries find it vitally important to maintain the market of your finance. And so, therefore, I really believe that regardless of who the president is, granted, with the exception of Trump, because of what this man has done and the fluctuation in the market, which actually some of his moves actually made the market green. I'm not even saying I lie to you. The reality is that those political movements have a lot of sway on the market. And although it says in the law that they try to maintain an orderly, maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets, they can't do all three of those things by doing all three of those things, because for one, it's never going to be orderly because you might need a correction. That's not going to be fair because some companies are going to lose money more than other companies where people are going to be affected by it. That's not going to be efficient because sometimes you might have took the gamble and might have lost everything in market, just like we lost everything all the companies lost when COVID happened. So you never know when that's really going to engage. And for the brother in the street, why do I need this knowledge? Listen, the reality is everything you buying, everything you copying, all the shit you moving, when you in the big cities, and I sound silly for telling you the price of hard plastics or whatever, and I sound silly, but you the one out there buying the fucking jars to put the bud in, and you wondering why this nigga raised it $2 when it was $8, now he moved it to 10. That's because of the fucking market, bro. You part of the black market. Your market is very important too. We're not gonna sit here and act like that the drug market and the sex slave trade ain't got nothing to do with the major market, because it does. I'll tell you right now it does. Because if it didn't, R. Kelly wouldn't be able to make no fucking money with the goddamn sex ring they had going on all the way around the nation with all the fucking hotels that he's able to buy the whole entire floor of. The reality is that because of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 and of 1933, because a lot of laws coincide with that as well, markets are a little more protected than what they used to be. Are companies able to find ways to divvy out funds and extra income by whatever means they deem necessary within the confines of the law? Fuck yeah, them niggas do. I will too. I ain't even saying here to hold you. So, just want to give you a segment on the SEC, or the Security Exchange Commission. This has been a moment of finance and finance talk with 50 Cal. Subscribe, like, and subscribe. Make sure you hit me up on all the socials. That's my Cash App. You want to show some love and take all donations, whatever you got to offer. And you can find me on my channel, The Street Conduit of Finance. Thank you very much. You have a great evening.